Welcome to my final The Last of Us Season 2 episode review video. As this, of course, is the Season 2 finale. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you aren't caught up to the point where I am every once you're watching The Last of Us, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which, of course, I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, if you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And yes, I know the finale of The Last of Us already happened. I'm doing these reviews late because, well, I think my knowledge of The Last of Us isn't that great because I never played the video game. I know all the things that happen in the video game, but looking back on my Season 1 reviews of The Last of Us, they were okay for somebody that had never played the games, but they lacked information. And now I waited till the season was over with, and I felt like I have a lot of information now to give. Probably too much information. But I like the show a lot. It's an awesome show. It has good quality. I don't have any opinions on what happened really. Like, I don't really get mad at stuff that happened because I never played the game. I know some people are mad at some of the stuff that they chose to do thus far. I started watching the show because the Season 1 trailer looked immaculate, and then I heard Cody Leach, who had already seen the season before it was released, say it's the best video game adaptation out there, and I thought it was really good. The only thing I can compare it to is the Resident Evil franchise, not the TV thing that they did on Netflix, which I never watched, but the movies, which some of them are good. Most of them aren't that great, though, but I like The Last of Us. It's a good show. It's probably in my top 30, 20 favorite shows of all time. At some point in the month of August, I'll be doing a top 50 favorite TV shows of all time video. So be on the lookout for that. But with all that said, this will be The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 7, the Season 2 finale. The title of this episode is called Convergence. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. As the WLF notify their teams to cease radio communications, Jesse tends to Dina's wound in the lobby of the theater. Dina frantically tells Jesse she cannot die while not telling him why. Jesse tells her he has to force the arrowhead through her leg rather than pull it out to avoid any tearing of an artery. Before he does so, he offers her some alcohol he used to clean her wound, but she refuses, arousing his suspicions. Ellie returns from the hospital. She barges past him to the dressing room where Dina is resting. Dina confirms the baby is fine, and Ellie has Ellie remove her shirt so she can clean her wounds. Ellie tells Dina she found Nora, but she only said in regards to Abby's location the words whale and wheel. Likely due to the infection affecting her mind, she admits that she made Nora talk by hurting her and is haunted by the realization it was not difficult for her to do so and that she left Nora to die in the end. She didn't even put her down. That was not thoughtful of her. And Dina suggests Nora deserved it, but Ellie replies that she may not. That's interesting. She reluctantly tells Dina everything. The group that killed Joel were former Fireflies getting revenge for his rampage in Salt Lake City, including his murder of Abby's father, and that he had done so to protect Ellie from being used to create a cure. Dina asks if Ellie knew who they were, which she denies, but she admits to having known what he did the whole time. Dina, now knowing the truth, declares that they need to go home, while Ellie reluctantly nods. Ellie and Jesse pack their bags as they plan to rendezvous with Tommy before all four can go home. Dina emerges from the dressing room and gives Ellie her bracelet as good luck charm. Jesse offers to let Ellie stay with Dina, but Dina turns down the offer and gives Ellie a stare as she leaves with Jesse. On the way to the rendezvous point, a bookstore, Ellie asks Jesse to explain how he found them, and Jesse reveals that they found Shimmer first, her horse, noting she's still at the music store and fine, spotted the WLF television station and used that to triangulate their position, splitting up to cover more ground, which is how Jesse found the theater. Ellie tries to express her appreciation, but Jesse interrupts by asking about Dina's insistence that she could not die, and refusal to drink alcohol. And Ellie denies any knowledge, but Jesse reveals he's already figured out that they are a couple, and he figures Dina probably would tell Ellie things she wouldn't tell him, like the fact that she's pregnant. Now, the stakes are higher for Jesse. As a future parent, he cannot let Dina die, nor himself die, except that they are stuck in a war zone because of Ellie's actions. Ellie and Jesse notice a mural for a different Seraphite prophet, leaving them to wonder if there is more than one. While taking shelter from a sudden rainstorm in a garage, they overhear gunfire. Taking cover, they witness Burton and other WLF soldiers chase a young Seraphite into the garage, forcing his clothes off and preparing to torture him. Ellie tries to intervene only for Jesse to force her to remain still until they leave. Ellie protests that he's just a kid and they could have saved him, but Jesse insists that they are outnumbered and he is not willing to risk his life for whatever war the WLF and the Seraphites have going on. At a WLF base camp in the parking lot of a former Costco wholesale store, Park informs Isaac that the storm is a convergence zone, meaning it will get bigger and cover their attack. She adds that the officer is on board with the plan, but the rest of the soldiers are reluctant, to which Isaac suggests Park is too. Before asking if they had heard from Abby, Park replies in the negative, noting they also have not found Owen and that Mel is also missing. Isaac is suspicious that all of Ellie's crew has disappeared, and then Park notices that they still have Manny, but Isaac replies they have plenty of Mannys and even some Owens and Mels, but there is only one, Abby. Park questions why he cares so much about Ellie, to which Isaac explains the honest truth. Both he and Park are very likely to be dead by the morning, leaving the WLF without a leader, a role he had long believed Abby would take on. And then Park bluntly replies that Abby has fucked off and that maybe this wasn't Abby's fate after all. Ellie and Jesse arrive at the bookstore, but find no sign of Tommy. The two choose to hunker down. Ellie looks around the store and finds a copy of the Sesame Street book, The Monster at the End of the Book, which she reads with amusement before deciding to take it as a gift for Dina's child. Jesse compliments her choice, prompting Ellie to offer to talk about things between her and Dina. Jesse stops her and reveals the truth. He loves Dina, but not in the way that Ellie does. He had fallen in love with an artist girl in one of the trading groups that came through the town from Alberta on their way to Mexico, and the two had an intense 2-week relationship that had to end as the girl did not want to leave her family. She had invited Jesse to join their group, but Jesse declined out of a sense of duty to Jackson and his belief that he should put others first. Ellie sarcastically chides that righteousness, but Jesse retorts that if he had gone to Mexico, no one would have saved Ellie in Seattle. They are interrupted by a radio broadcast from a WLF team at a marina reporting an ambush by a mysterious sniper. Jesse concludes this must be Tommy and that he needs help. Observing the coast from an upper floor, Jesse points in the direction of where they can hear the sniper fire, but Ellie spots a Ferris wheel further down the waterfront and realizes what Norrell's last words meant. Abby is in the Seattle Aquarium, which has a giant mural of a whale on its exterior. Her thirst for revenge is reinvigorated. She declares they need to grab a boat to track her down, but Jesse insists they need to find Tommy. Ellie claims he will be fine and they need to finish her mission, arguing if the 3 more people had voted with Jesse, he would have already been joining her. Jesse reveals he actually voted against Ellie's proposal. Having known that Ellie was thinking of herself and over the community, infuriated, Ellie calls Jesse a hypocrite for letting a kid die simply because he wasn't in their community, arguing her own community was killed in front of her while she was forced to watch. And Jesse would do the same if it happened to him. Jesse tells her he hopes she makes it before leaving to find Tommy. Dina waits in the lobby of the theater for Ellie, Jesse, and Tommy's return. Ellie arrives at the dockside and watches as Isaac and other members of the WLF board their boats as they leave for a nearby island. She boards her own boat so she can reach the aquarium, but waves from the storm knock her off her path and she washes up on the shore of an island. A group of Seraphites appear and quickly kidnap her. Despite her pleas that she is not with the WLF, they hang a noose around her neck and prepare to ritually disembowel her, but are interrupted by a warning alarm from their village, choosing to leave her behind. That pissed me off. She's on this island. She's dead to rights at this point, but just because I don't know if this is, I don't think this part's in the game actually, but this kind of pissed me off. Like, they shouldn't have even had this in there. But, so Ellie gets lucky and she boards her boat and heads back to the aquarium, only to notice explosions and gunfire from the island. Ellie finds signs of activity, but no sign of Abby. Rounding a corner, she finds Mel and Owen in the middle of an argument regarding their plans to leave with Abby. Ellie reveals herself and holds them at gunpoint as they recognize her with shock. Borrowing something that she had seen Joel do, Ellie tells Mel to bring her a map on the table and point to where Abby is, and that Owen will need to point to the same location. As Ellie counts down, Owen tells Mel she will kill them either way, which Ellie denies, claiming she is not like them. Mel moves to get the map, but Owen stops her and claims he will do it instead. However, he makes a move for a gun hidden under the table, forcing Ellie to shoot him, but the bullet passes through Owen and mortally wounds Mel. As Mel starts to bleed out, she reveals to Ellie that she is pregnant and begs her to cut her baby out of her stomach before she dies. Ellie tries to do so, but she is unable to discern Mel's delirious instructions and watches helplessly as Mel bleeds to death. Horrified at what she has done, Ellie breaks down in tears over Mel's body. Sometime later, Tommy and Jesse arrive. Tommy consoles Ellie and escorts her out of the aquarium while Jesse watches and surveys the carnage. Dina opens up the barricade and hugs Tommy with relief, but watches as Ellie walks through, straight past her, traumatized. Later in the auditorium, Tommy maps a path out of Seattle using the southern part of the town, suggesting they leave in the morning when it is light and hopefully the storm has ended. Seeing Ellie nearby, he tells her that Abby's crew made their choices and there was nothing she could do about it. But Ellie points out that after all the destruction she caused in her quest for revenge, Abby still gets to live, which she reluctantly realizes she will have to make peace with. Tommy leaves to start packing for their trip to Jackson, leaving Ellie with Jesse. Ellie thanks Jesse for coming back, which he initially suggests was because Tommy forced him to, but then admits he did it by his own choice. The two admit if either of them were in trouble, the other would have done anything to save them. And then their conversation is interrupted by a commotion from the lobby. They run out of the auditorium to investigate, only for Jesse to immediately fall to a gunshot to the head. Well, that was quick. No more Jesse. Taking cover, Ellie stares at Jesse's lifeless body and overhears someone barking orders for her to stand up or she will shoot Tommy, as Tommy tells her to run. Ellie rises to find Abby holding Tommy at gunpoint as Abby recognizes her. Ellie pleads with her to let Tommy go, revealing she was the one who killed Abby's friends and knows why Abby killed Joel, offering herself up if she lets Tommy go. Abby furiously tells Ellie she had let her live and Ellie wasted it. Before pulling the gun on her, a shot rings out. Now, how did Abby find them? Nobody was alive at the place, the marina place, and I don't know, whatever. I'm sure somebody knows that. Let me know in the comment section of how Abby found where they were staying, unless she followed them or something like that. And then we go to Abby on day one. She's awoken from her sleep by Manny informing her that Isaac wants to talk to them. She tells him to give her 5 minutes while she wakes up. She walks out onto a balcony overlooking the Seattle Seahawks Stadium, which houses a massive compound for the WLF, and that's what ends this episode of The Last of Us. So I'm going to score it a 7.2 out of 10. I had mixed emotions about this episode. Some people that like the game really hate this episode. Characters of the episode, Jesse and Abby. Tommy didn't have a lot of time, otherwise he would probably be a character of the episode. So the part where Abby gets on shore, washes up on shore of the Seraphite Island, and just miraculously they decide to let her go because, that irritated me. And then how did Abby know that Tommy, Ellie, and Jesse were at the theater? So I don't know. Maybe she knew. I don't know. Anyway, still entertaining, though. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of The Last of Us and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of The Last of Us. What would you rate it? Who would you choose as a character or characters of the episode? Remember, I always try to do somebody other than Ellie and Joel when he's around. Ellie did really good in this one, too, though. And then remember, I'll put my Last of Us playlist right there in case you want to check out any of those videos that I previously did. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the video anyway. Help me get over 100K subs. Yes, I know I set my goals high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDevTV.